Hey there, it's Jenny B from vitalitybyjenny.com, and today I wanted to have a little chat with you guys. I just wanted to kind of give my thoughts on a subject here that came up after I did the video about 10 reasons why TV is bad for your children. And so what I wanted to talk about was I received a comment from a cute lady after that video about how she agreed with me, but being that she was only 16 years old herself, she was still so involved. She feels like the TV is a big part of her culture, and that she would feel like she was letting her child miss out on that kind of culture, or missing out on a big part of what children and especially teenagers talk about as they are in school and stuff like that. And I wanted to talk about this only because it doesn't just apply to TV. It's to anything that goes against the norm. So especially if you are trying to eat healthy, then you'll probably have experienced this. Or if you're trying to feed your children healthy foods, then at some point you or someone in your family may have expressed concerns over what your child's going to be missing out on, the experiences that your child will be missing out on. So, birthday parties, or, grandparents giving their grandchildren sweets and treats and stuff that you don't want them to have, perhaps. Situations like this where people may feel like you're depriving your child of something important. And this is something that that I've given a lot of thought to myself, because of all the choices that we've made so far in the way that we're raising our children, that a lot of them go against the mainstream. And I've worried on occasion too that they would be missing out on something. So Doug and I have been very proactive about finding communities and finding places where our children aren't going to be so abnormal. And so we look for people and places where we can take our children, where people are eating healthier, where they are already choosing, these different choices for their children that aren't mainstream. So not so much TV watching, not so much, of the junky foods, the junky habits, and, just a more natural and hands-on approach to parenting and all of these kinds of things. We search out other people who are similar to us, and that way we can surround ourselves and surround our children with people who are like-minded. And yes, this takes a little bit more effort, because it's obviously not the majority of people who are going to feel this way. But not only is it going to enrich your child's life by being able to play with other people who are similar to them, are raised in a similar fashion, but it's also going to enrich your own life. Because that's one thing that's hard on people, especially I know people in the raw food community, or even if you're vegan, or you're just doing something that feels extreme to you, then you all of a sudden feel like you're so alone in this choice, and that there's no one else who you can communicate with or that you can relate to in terms of diet anymore, because you're so different than anyone around you. And so seeking out these kinds of people really goes a long way towards enriching your own life and supporting these decisions that you've made. Because yes, it can be hard to stand in the face of what our culture has decided is okay, but when you yourself know that it's not okay for you, that you've studied enough to know that this is not what I want for my child, this is not what I want for myself, and just because the mainstream is doing it shouldn't be the reason why you allow that choice to be made for you. Okay. So this is a big factor in actually why Doug and I have decided to move to Austin, is because the boys' school, the only school that we've found that we feel is in alignment with the way that we want to raise our children, it isn't here in Vegas. There's not one here in Vegas. And so we decided to move for our boys to be able to send them to a school that was in alignment with how we feel they should be taught. And so we're moving to Austin for our boys, to be able to have that community that we're surrounded with people who think like us. And we're very much looking forward to it. And then also on this subject, I read, I think it was in Victoria Botinko's book, one of her books, I don't remember which, but she was talking about how when she was teaching people about raw foods, depending on how they were raised, people had certain attachments to certain foods. So if you were raised in a standard American diet, then if you're in a stressed out situation, you're most likely going to turn to sweets and junk food type things because that's what you were raised up on. And you have fond memories of going to, fairs and having I can't even think what they're called, the pull apart things with the powdered sugar on them, or cotton candy or something like that. Whereas if you're raised like in a healthy vegan lifestyle, then when you're stressed out, you might reach for raisins or, something sweet but healthier, like dried fruits and stuff. And, you may have fond memories, or like she stated that her children, having been raised on most their lives on a raw food diet, when she asked them what their fond memories around food were, it was going to pick blueberries when they were in season at a certain farm, or, whatever fruits were in season, or going to harvest greens somewhere or something like that. So they still had really fond memories and really strong family traditions around food, but it was just the types of foods were healthier. So if you're concerned that your child is going to be missing out on something, just know that they are having the same emotional experience as all the other children, only around a healthier lifestyle. So they're still going to have all the fond memories, they're still going to have traditions, they're still, going to have things they look forward to all the time. It's just those things that they're looking forward to aren't detrimental to their health, and you're teaching them how to look forward to things that are healthy and how to reward yourself with something that's healthy. So I hope that was kind of cohesive. I was kind of just spilling my guts without giving much pre-thought to this, but I was hoping that what would come out would be what was right. I know I have very strong and different opinions about lots of things in life, but it's working very well for me and my family, and I just want to get the point across to you guys that I know it seems hard when you're first making these choices, making these changes, when it's so different than what everyone else is doing. But once you get into it, your whole life changes. Everything changes in your life. Your friendship, the people who you are meant to be around now will be attracted to you, and you will find, your new community that can be created. So don't fear the moments that you feel alone, because it's just space opening up for the new, more congruent people and places and situations to come into your life. And instead of giving in to the mainstream choices because it's what is accepted in our culture, let's work cohesively on creating a new culture. Okay? It's needed. Love you guys. Bye.